Do you want to know the very worst thing that you can tell a client when they ask you a very sophisticated and detailed question? Or even worse, if it's a potential client asking you a very detailed and sophisticated question. The worst thing that you can tell them is the answer. And what do I mean by that? Well, this would be an example of a spoiler. In sales writing, a spoiler is when you put all of your cards on the table and you tell in great technical and legal detail the answer to a certain inquiry that you've had. You might wonder, why is this a bad idea? Well, with a potential client, they might not only be so impressed with your deep knowledge of the subject and your friendly nature, but they won't actually pay you. So you've just lost a sale. That's one result of a spoiler with a potential client. So don't do it. With an existing client, you might be jumping to conclusions. You should be asking more open questions to get a better understanding of the global issue, and then you should be giving your answer. So if someone asks you a question, it doesn't matter if they're a current client, an ex-client, or a potential client. You shouldn't be jumping ahead and giving a very sophisticated, detailed answer. That's a spoiler. What you could be doing, especially with the new clients, is something called a teaser. You tell them we have the answer. We know the solution to this. There are some very interesting and peculiar pitfalls and dangers in our jurisdiction regarding this issue. And we can show you some wonderful opportunities. But for us to discuss this further, let's agree on the terms and conditions and sign a cooperation agreement. And then we can go into more detail about the solution you require. I've seen many, many lawyers, because we try to be helpful and kind and we want to share our knowledge, slipping into giving free legal advisory. You are not a public resource. If you're working for a business, commercial law firm, it's not a public resource. This is not pro bono. You do not give free legal advisory. You have nothing to prove. So be careful. Don't do spoilers. Try and include some teasers, especially when you do sales writing, presentations, public speaking. A few teasers included in there are more likely to lend you a hand in catching some meetings, and afterwards a number of those meetings will then result in mandates. It takes a little bit of practice to do. I do admit that. So the main idea here is be careful. Don't put all your cards on the table and give a detailed answer just because you're asked. You don't have to say. Let me know what you think about this. Would this be a little bit too provocative with your clients? Would this annoy them? Share your thoughts. You can reach me on jjmcveigh@nicodonia.com. Thank you.